Alright, so you have your inflammatory remark back. Doesn't feel weird, I didn't adjust the stock in a weird position.
As long as the 0 is fine, I don't care.
It's still zeroed, what do you think, I am a pleb?
Yes.
I don't...
You don't know how guns work.
What in the hell is this abomination to John Moses Browning's holy name?
Looks like a gun.
In that it shares some characteristics with a gun.
Sure.
It's a nightmare.
No, what do you mean by that? Look at it.
It looks like absolute dog piss.
I'm a big fan of function over form. So, as long as it can propel a bullet down range.
The magazine is sticking out of the side of it. The barrel is literally made from a piece of steel that is welded together.
First things first, just because the magazine is sticking out of the side doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's an Uzi.
No, that means it's a MP18, Mike. An Uzi has the magazine sticking out of the bottom.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% positive.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see how well it works.
Yeah, it functions correctly.
I can make a heavier receiver for my pipe pistol.
Yeah, you like your pistol that much? Your pipe pistol?
No, I absolutely hate it, but I mean, it... Oh, that's kind of cool. It's a fun little shitty stock. Close side should... That's not a reflex sight. That's a piece of pipe with 2 nails drilled in it. Oh, good God.
That's a shotgun, huh?
This is terrifying. This is just a freaking blunderbuss. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I kind of figured you
It's
would.
a freaking zip gun. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad.
A zip gun, you say?
Yeah, it's basically made out of 2 pieces of metal that you just bang them together and it shoots.
Oh, okay. You got a bayonet on it too, I see.
Yeah, I do not want to use this, especially with how long it takes to reload this piece of crap.
Is it a single fire shotgun?
It's a single shot. It's real bad.
If you were desperate for a gun, maybe.
If I was desperate, but I also have a semi-automatic 12 gauge that does way better than this.
We'll stick with that.
It's the PPSH BAR.
It's not, though.
It's got the top cover of a PPSH 41 for some reason, but then the magazine of a Browning automatic rifle, and then the foregrip of a Browning automatic rifle.
Well, oh, what kind of stock does it have?
It's got a PPSH 41 stock on it. It's not well designed.
Automatic Jaguar.
What? It looks like a Villar Perosa in that it has 2 barrels, but it's also got like the gas system of an AK on it. So, okay, this is really weird, because you got the barrels, and you got this thing on the top, which I would presume would be the gas piston system, unless that's just a gas tube. But then why is there an op rod on the bottom? And then also, why does it have the handguard of an M60 on it? It's also got like the takedown lever of an AK. What even is this?
I'm still fixated on the double barrel. Who needs that many barrels? It's so extravagant.
Why is it also made of license plates and the speed limit signs? Behold, the Dragunov.
Yes.
I find it kind of interesting that there's a pick rail on the top of this, because I wouldn't necessarily put a pick rail on the top. That's why it's got the side mount for a scope. The reason I wouldn't put an optic on top of the top cover is because the top cover can wobble around, so it means that your optic isn't really going to stay zeroed.
Oh, that's a problem.
Not a great idea. So, that is the front end of an AS Val. Why are you putting the front end of an AS Val on a 7.62x54R? What?
Time to make a Frankenstein gun!
I can put an acro on this? Ew, Barska. Ugh.
Not a big fan of Barska sights?
Oh god, they're terrible optics.
How so?
They have a hard time holding 0. They don't hold up to abuse. Not very good.
What are you basing this opinion on? Your personal experience?
My personal experience with Barskas.
What's your sample size on that?
Several Barskas and also several that customers have owned. PSO1, which is the optic that should be on it.
Are you going to put it on it?
No, I'm going to use this thing with iron sights.
Alright.
I'm going to use a Dragunov as a battle rifle, even though that's not something you're supposed to do.
You want to put optic... Okay.
The Dragunov isn't technically a sniper rifle, it's really more of a designated marksman rifle. I'm not a huge fan of the PSO1 because it doesn't have adjustable eye relief, and your eye has to get pretty close to the back of it. And because the Dragunov has quite a bit of recoil, they put this rubber cup on the end of it.
To absorb the recoil.
It's just supposed to smush into your face.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't work great.
No.
No, you kind of just end up bonking yourself with it a lot.
Right in the eye.
I also find it funny that when they built the Dragunov, they also put a bayonet lug on it. And normally, your barrel's supposed to be that long. 3.5-foot long rifle with a bayonet on the end of it that basically just turns it into a small lance. Frankenov.
The Frankenov.
The Dragunov is a 7.62x54R semi-automatic rifle that was designed for the Russian military. to give the infantry a little bit more range than the AK-47 could provide.
Yeah, the AK-47 is a good, reliable, all-purpose rifle.
Yeah, it's a good infantry rifle, but this is designed more for slightly longer range engagements, so when you got like one guy in a machine gun nest, you can have your designated marksman just pop him with this thing. And 7.62x54R has been around a long time. The upside is that it's a very high power cartridge that works incredibly well. The downside is that rimmed cartridges don't exactly like to work well in semi-automatic guns, but the Dragunov seems to do pretty well on handling it.
So there's a 7.62 and a 7.62R.
Well, there's a 7.62x39, which is what the AK-47 uses. Then there's a 7.62x54R, which is what the Dragunov uses.
Good evening.
Hi, we're having a conversation, thank you. There's also a 7.62x51 NATO, which is a cartridge that a lot of bolt actions and semi-automatic rifles use. I'm not a fan of this scope. I might change the scope out.
So you shot that Dragunov before?
I actually used to own one, but it was the civilian version of a Dragunov, which was made by Izmash. It was called the Izmash Tiger. Didn't have a muzzle brake on it, so decent chunk of recoil. You do end up smacking yourself in the face with a scope a lot because there's no adjustable eye relief.
And this one doesn't even have the suction cup, so you can't absorb recoil.
Well, the scope's further forward on this one. The military one is kind of even worse because the military one just has a metal plate on the stock.
Oh, fun stuff.
And 7.62x54R is definitely not a comfy recoil. I'm sorry. What do they think 308 ammo is? Because apparently the high caliber, it says larger 5mm rounds. Do you know what 308 is in millimeters? Almost 8mm.
Is 8mm bigger than 5mm?
Gee, I don't know, Mike. You can do math. What do you think?
I can't do gun math. You guys have weird rules.
No, yeah. 8mm is bigger than 5mm. PP-19 Bizon. Here it is.
Yeah, alright.
Looks like an AK-47.
Wait, no it doesn't.
It's got the same top cover as an AK-47.
Okay, it's got the same top cover,
It is derived from an AK-47. It uses 9x19mm from this weird helical magazine on the bottom. Check this out. Then we're gonna shoot it for a second. Now watch me reload it. That's the magazine. Yeah, it's like a 50-something round magazine.
That is a weird way to do the magazines.
Yeah, it's very weird, but apparently they work okay.
Of all the weapons you could have gotten, you got 2 submachine guns.
Yeah, I love submachine guns.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So that weird knobby thing coming out the back is the charging handle.
It's not the eyesight. You don't put your eye on that.
No, that's the charging handle. This is.
You pull the lever back like a pinball machine.
Yeah, like that.
Really?
Yeah, you pull back on that thing to charge it.
Good grief.
Anyway, it's designed by Saab and Bofors. It's interesting in that the barrel can be removed and you can immediately change it over to a 6mm projectile that can be used for training, but they do also have a tungsten armored penetrator.
You can fire multiple calibers of bullets?
Yeah, just by literally changing the barrel.
So you would be able to rotate out the upper receiver?
No, you just take the whole barrel out the front of it.
You just remove the barrel?
You remove the barrel, put a new barrel in it, and now you have it shoot tungsten armor-piercing projectiles.
Huh. Why wouldn't you just use armor-piercing bullets of the same caliber?
Because 9mm armor-piercing bullets don't work great. I am okay with weird submachine guns. I love submachine guns so much.
They're just not your favorite.
No, submachine guns are like my favorite weapons.
Huh?
I like submachine guns more than I like assault rifles.
Why? You just like the volume of fire?
I just love having a small weapon with a whole lot of volume of fire potential in 9mm. When I was in the military, I kept trying to order MP5 submachine guns and use them instead of my M4. They were not happy every time I tried to order those.
What's the difference between a submachine gun and an assault rifle in this context?
In this context, a submachine gun is anything in like a pistol caliber or like a smaller than rifle caliber.
Oh, so it's just the caliber of bullet. They're basically the same gun.
This is basically like the helical magazine on the Bizon that I showed you a second ago, only it has a long tab that goes all the way up onto the inside.
So basically the bullets keep on going past your hand to get into the gun.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
This thing is fun. I like this. I'm more excited about this than I am about the Dragunov. I'm actually very excited about this.
I've never heard of this gun before. I've heard of the Dragunov.
Yeah, it's a Swedish gun.
Not the Dragunov. The Dragunov's a Russian gun.
No, the Dragunov is Russian. This is Swedish, and it's intended as... It's kind of weird because it's like a personal defense weapon / submachine gun, but it also can be used as a squad automatic weapon. It's a multi-role, like, submachine gun thingy, and I'm actually very excited about it. I think it's really cool looking.
Sounds versatile.
Yeah. Bizon!
Somebody rechambered the barrel, I guess.
Yeah, they swapped out the barrel for a 10 mil, I guess.
That's what I said. They rechambered the barrel.
No, they just swapped out the barrel. They didn't rechamber it. They just swapped it out.
That's what rechambering means.
No, rechambering means you actually took the barrel and bored it out for another chamber.
Maybe they did. What a weird... I'll never get over how weird that magazine is.
Yeah, it's real weird, but apparently they are somewhat effective.
But then why don't other guns adopt that same style?
It's kind of hard to do it with anything other than 9mm or like pistol calibers. Whoa, Scorpion! Why are all the guns left-handed in this world? They all eject out of the left side of the receiver.
You think maybe they pressed all the lefties into service? Like they conscripted the lefties?
That's pot. Are you having problems?
A little.
I also found this thing.
Oh, 9mm pistol.
No, it's a Stechkin APS.
What kind of caliber bullet does it fire?
I think 9x18.
Oh, so 9mm, exactly what I said.
It's full auto.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use it.
No?
This thing just wastes ammo. You point at the mailbox, you're like, hands up, mailbox. Hands up, mailbox. And then the mailbox is like, I'll take you down. And so you pull the trigger on it and, oh my god, ah!
Now that you put it that way,
yeah. It's cool. Don't need it. Yeah, Stechkin APS, it's an interesting idea in concept because like a lot of other small submachine guns or fully automatic pistols, it was designed for like tank crews or people that couldn't carry around a full-size rifle.
But why would they make it automatic?
Because it does have a small stock that's supposed to attach to it, but even with the stock on it, it's real hard to control.
Yeah, exactly. So why would you have it full auto? It doesn't seem...
It does have a selector lever. This one seems broken, though. I can't switch it off full auto.
Even still, why even have the option? It sounds ridiculous. You burn through all your ammo, then you gotta...
I mean, if you're like 2 feet away from somebody and you just pull down the trigger on this thing, you are gonna absolutely riddle them with lead. Goodness.
Yes?
That would not actually work. What? They don't make an EOTech that small. What the f...
That's why it's called a micro reflex sight, Zach.
Somebody... What? Oh my god. Somebody was goofing. Somebody was goofing and made dumb stuff. Somebody was goofing and made dumb stuff. There's no rail mount on the bottom of a Stechkin. 45 conversion flèche rounds? It's a pistol. It doesn't even shoot flèche rounds.
It will if you give it the conversion.
No. Yeah, that's a lever action rifle, all right.
What kind of lever action?
It's based on a Henry lever action, and for some reason the rear sight looks like it was stolen from a Benelli shotgun.
Ah.
But
another mishmash.
Oh my god, there is a Deathclaw over there. Dance, do not go that way.
That definitely does not look like a normal hammer for a rifle.
No, it's got like a little tab sticking out of the side because it's designed so that if you have a scope, you can still access the hammer. Because a lot of times when you put a scope on a lever action, you can't get to the hammer anymore. Yeah, Deathclaw's pissed off. Our Lord and Savior, John Moses Browning. Winchester was like, hey, we want a lever action. And he went, okie dokie, and knocked it out of the park in less than 30 days. It's freaking ridiculous.
And then they named a gun company after him because the gun company was so impressed.
No, he's just started his own gun company.
What, to compete with Browning? That seems counterproductive.
Yes, Mike, to compete with Browning. To compete with Browning, John Browning started his own gun company.
He also named it Browning. It was very confusing.
No, the name of his gun company was Harrington and Richardson. And then the Harrington and Richardson brothers founded Webley.
And then Webley founded the Heckler and Koch.
And then Heckler and Koch started High Point.
And then High Point started Low Point.
And then Low Point I'm done with this joke. This joke is stupid and I hate it.
If I remember correctly, that gun was made by Fabrique Nationale.
Yes, it is. And I'm surprised you remembered that.
And it's called the FNFAL because it stands for Fabrique Nationale Fabricated. Oh, I was doing so well, but I can't.
Yep, you lost it. Yep. Ah, you lost it.
Fabrique Assault and Atom.
FAL is commonly referred to as the right arm of the free world.
Yeah, okay.
Due to the fact that almost every single Western country during the Cold War used an FAL.
Must have been good branding for that company.
The US insisted every Western nation had to standardize their ammo. And for some reason, the US went all in on .308.
Not 5.56?
No, the U.S. went all in on, well, 7.62 by 51 millimeter. Everybody has to use 7.62 by 51 millimeter.
Wait, you just said a different number now.
Yeah, 7.62 by 51 and 308 are effectively the same cartridge, though, if I'm going to be pedantic, which I am,
Of course.
you can't use 308 in a rifle that is chambered for 7.62, but you can use 7.62 in a rifle that is chambered for 308. American military is like, all right, everybody has to use 308 because we want a 308 rifle.
Oh,
We're unwilling to move away from 30-06.
I think I heard this story. Yeah, America and its allies said they're going to use 7.62, and then the Soviets said, oh, okay, then we're going to make our guns that are 7.62 as well. That way, once we kill you, we can scavenge your ammo and use it in our guns.
No.
And that's when America said, oh yeah? Well, guess what? We lied about that. Now all of our guns are in 5.56. Ah ha ha! You lose.
No.
That's not true?
No.
How close was I?
You were not close at all. You can't use the American 7.62 cartridge in an AK-47.
And then the Soviets said,
Yeah. Anyway, everybody has to use 7.62, and Britain's like, well, we did a bunch of research after World War II, and we are working on this intermediate cartridge that has very low recoil and very high velocity, and we think it shows a lot of promise. Look, here's our EM2 rifle. And America went, no, fuck you. You're not using that. You're using 7.62 NATO. And Britain went, okay, fine, we'll use the FNFAL. So everybody's switching over to the FNFAL or the G3, and Fabrique Nationale goes, hey, U.S. military, we switched over to 7.62 just like you asked. Here's this cool new rifle. So you guys are going to use the FAL, right? Because we switched over to the caliber you wanted. And the U.S. went, no. We modified our M1 Garands to take magazines and work worse. We called it the M14. We're using that instead.
I guess someone else got a lower bid on the contract.
The U.S. took the M14 instead of the FAL, and the M14 was a massive disappointment.
Well, the M14 is still a pretty good weapon, isn't it?
It isn't! The U.S. military spent
detected.
millions of dollars and 30 years trying to turn the M14 into a sniper rifle. And what they succeeded in doing was making the M14 weigh 20 pounds and not be able to shoot one MOA groups. Ow!
Tell me one interesting fact about the FAL.
It is a tilting bolt mechanism, which is a feature that it shares with the SKS rifle and a lot of other military rifles from the 1950s, honestly.
Okay, now explain what that even means.
You know how your M16...
I got some spare cams if you want. Just ask me.
You know on your M16 when the
See a
bolt...
mole rat with a tan. It means the summer's gonna be a long one.
What?! It says this in 5.56, which is not correct, but... Oh, God! Someone chopped the barrel down on this poor thing!
Is that a Kalashnikov?
What did they do to it?! Oh, God!
Not your favorite version of the Kalash?
Oh my God! It's been butchered!
So you say it normally has a longer barrel?
Oh God, it's normally much longer. Also, the barrel's right in front of the gas block. How does it even have enough pressure to chamber the next cartridge? What did they do to it?
Maybe they use overpressured ammo.
That Kalashnikov needs to be fixed before I can actually use it. The barrel is just absolute garbage. Somebody thought that making the hole in the barrel bigger would make the gun do more damage. So they drilled out the inside of the barrel, so now the bullets are just ricocheting down the barrel when they come out.
Oh, are you saying they drilled holes in the wrong place?
They made the hole inside the barrel bigger.
Which makes it better, yes?
No, that makes it worse. That means the bullet just bounces down the inside of the barrel when you fire it.
Like a pachinko machine.
Yes, like a pachinko machine. Oh, a Saiga 12!
That's not the gun we came here for.
It's not, but it's a gun that I want! Yes! 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun!
Ooh, why do you like the Saiga so much?
Well, the Saiga is basically an AK-47 chambered in 12 gauge.
So it's just an AK-47 a different caliber.
It's AK-47 in 12 gauge, so you get the AK-47 reliability, but 12 gauge shotgun shells.
So wait, it's an AK that fires shotgun shells?
Yes. Yeah, boy! I got a FAMAS!
It is legendary and iconic.
Oh, it's so cool! Whoa! Yes! Yes, my boy! Frickin' FAMAS. Oh, I love this gun.
It's in 9mm, I believe.
5.56.
That's roughly the same size, but I probably should know that by now.
It isn't the same size, Mike. It's almost 5mm smaller.
No, 9mm is in 9mm, but 5.56 is in inches.
No, it's in millimeters.
Wait, really?
It's 5.56 by 45mm.
Oh shit, you're right.
223 is what it would be in inches.
It looks like I'm gonna have to give up my reputation as being the primo gun expert.
Yeah,
Dang it.
apparently you will. Oh my god, I am so glad I have this gun right now. This makes me so happy. I found 2 amazing guns today.
Which would you prefer if you had to pick one?
If I could only pick one,
Yes, the Saiga or the FAMAS?
the FAMAS.
Would it be in your top 5 firearms of all time?
It's one of my favorite guns. It's just so cool looking.
It is sleek and identifiable, and I believe ambidextrous, yes?
You can convert...
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the P90. I always get those two confused.
Yeah.
They're both sleek,
You can
awesome
convert
guns.
this to be left-handed.
Yeah, alright.
The problem with bullpups is you can't really fire them left-handed because it will just eject brass directly into your cheek.
Wait, is the FAMAS a bullpup?
Yeah, it is. Magazine's behind the trigger.
Oh, okay.
Here, let me throw this on the ground so I can show it to you. Let me save first. Saiga's not really going to be much to look at. It's an
AK, but it fires shotgun
AK
shells.
and 12 gauge.
So, to make the AK a Saiga, you pretty much have to make the barrel bigger to accompany the shot.
You make the barrel bigger, and you make the magazine bigger, and you make it have a bigger bolt. And then, there you go. Now you have a Saiga.
That's it, huh?
It really is pretty much just an AK in 12 gauge.
Okay.
They make the Saiga in different calibers. Like, they make it in 12 gauge, they make it in 20 gauge. They also make one in 410, which 410 isn't a gauge, but people were used to refer to it as a gauge. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that we found this. I'm very glad I have it. But more importantly...
The FAMAS, which is indeed a bullpup. The magazine is behind
Yes?
that finger guard.
The trigger.
That-
Yes.
The handle holder.
So, couple interesting things about the FAMAS. It was incredibly futuristic when it first came out, just like the Steyr-AUG. The entire carry handle assembly, the big rectangular thing on the top of it, the carry handle and sight assembly is actually made almost entirely out of plastic. The lever on the back, behind the magazine here, switches between 3-round burst or full auto. Interesting fact, this is one of the only NATO guns that was originally designed to use steel-cased ammo.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Most NATO countries use brass-cased ammo, but the FAMAS use steel-cased because it's got a really high extraction pressure, so you kind of have to use steel shell casings because the original ones had problems with ripping brass shell casings in half.
Well, are you saying that the FAMAS aren't designed to use brass casings?
The original ones weren't.
Oh, but the newer ones probably
The
are.
newer ones, yeah, the newer ones are.
I think you're not supposed to use that thing on top as a carrying handle. It's referred to as a carrying handle, but I think soldiers got yelled at when they used it as a carrying handle.
I wonder if the French military got used at for that, because I don't care what anybody says. The thing on the top that they say isn't a carry handle might as well just be a carry handle, because that's what people primarily end up using it
Well,
for.
it's detachable, isn't it? Or is it part of the frame?
On this FAMAS, it is not detachable.
Are there FAMASs where it is detachable?
That would be the FAMAS G2 Felon.
If the carrying handle is detachable, then carrying it by that would change your zero if it got shaken loose.
No, not really, because the sights are mounted directly to like the barrel, so they're pretty much gonna stay there just fine.
Wait a second. Are the sights on top of the carrying handle or underneath it?
They're on top of the carry handle. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, so this one is the second version of the FAMAS because this one has the weird trigger guard that covers the entire grip, and then also this one is adapted to take NATO mags because the original FAMAS had like specific 25-round magazines that were straight. Also, if you look on the barrel, you see those weird ridges on there.
Yeah.
That's so that ring can move further forward and backwards so that you can launch rifle grenades.
Rifle grenades?
Yeah, you basically just shove a grenade over the end of the muzzle and you fire a blank into it, and then it launches a rifle grenade.
Almost like a pinball machine where you put a grenade at the end of your gun?
Yeah, I guess you can equate it to like that, yeah.
So, you pull the pin on the grenade at the end of your gun?
Oh, no. The rifle grenades are like, are totally different.
So it's one of those ones where it spins a bit and activates?
It's something like that. I think the act of firing it causes it to arm the grenade.
Okay. But still, though, you're basically launching a grenade by firing a bullet at the grenade.
No, it's a blank. You shoot a blank.
What if you forget to load blanks in there?
Then
Then you're just shooting a bullet at a grenade. That's point blank.
Yeah, I think they technically have safety mechanisms that should keep them from going off, but I still wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like hella stoked we got this thing. The FAMAS has a stupid high firing rate. Yeah, as you can see.
Yes.
I'm very stoked that we have this. Also, the model the guy used for this is absolutely gorgeous. He did such a good job making this model.
Would you like to take it back to base and Frankenstein the hell out of it?
I kind of would, yeah. So you might recognize the FAMAS from the game Metal Gear Solid.
That is the first time that I saw that.
Yeah, which a lot of people, myself included, thought it was kind of weird that it's a bunch of U.S. Special Operations soldiers in Alaska using French-made assault rifles.
That is weird.
You know why they use the FAMAS in that game?
I don't.
Because it's super blocky looking, and it made it really easy to render it on a PlayStation 1 graphics.
Really?
Yeah, that's the entire reason they use the Mark 23 SOCOM as well, is because it's an incredibly blocky looking handgun.
All right.
Doesn't have anything to do with its performance or its history. It's just that it's blocky.
So that's the reason they had a French assault rifle. That's it.
That is the reason that it was a bunch of U.S. troops armed with a French assault rifle. I think they had some reason in-game why they were, but I don't remember what it was. So we got a oh, look, you can get the felon receiver! That is one of the advantages of a bullpup, is this standard civilian barrel is probably like a 20-something inch barrel, but this whole rifle is probably about only the same length as like an M4 carbine.
Because you have the magazine at the very end.
Because the magazine's at the very end of it, yeah.
What's the negative to having a bullpup like that?
The negative to having a
Is it-
bullpup is it does require, oh look, you can have the standard F1 receiver.
Is it awkward to load a magazine like that?
It can be, it does technically require more training. Oh, I can put the actual laser that they had on the FAMAS on this?
Apparently.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that. Yay! I can put the curved fill-in bipod on there!
There you go.
In my opinion, there are more upsides to a bullpup rifle than there are downsides. However, that is entirely my opinion. A lot of people disagree, and a lot of people say bullpups are inferior and there's no reason to use them. If you want a rifle that's very compact and still gives you the same accuracy as like a longer barreled rifle, yeah, but downsides, can't really shoot it left-handed unless you get one that's converted over. And it does take a different manual of arms to get used to.
Why can't it be ambidextrous?
That's where all the shell casings come out. On the other side of the rifle, that's where your cheek goes. So you try to shoot it left-handed, you're going to be eating all that brass.
Oh, I see. And if I put my face right there, all the brass is going to go, oh my God.
Yeah, you will just be eating brass. That magazine is a surefire 60-round magazine for an AR-15. It is not a 12-gauge magazine. It's okay. It's okay.
The more you dick around with that Saiga, the more it looks like an actual AK.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just putting wood furniture on it, for giggles.
Give it the French name, Zach. Give it the name that FAMAS stands for.
I don't know what it stands
Then
for.
make up an acronym.
Seal de automatique Matiba. Oh, yeah. No.
Assault shotgun.
Fun and me ass shoot.
That's what FAMAS now stands for. From this point on, put it in the history books. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that's a shotgun because I look at it and immediately think assault rifle.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a shotgun. Whoa! Oh, this is not awful trying to aim through irons at all. This is not like a horrible, horrible tunnel vision. Oh my god, I hate it.
You made a gun so you can hate on it?
Oh no, it's just so hard to see through irons like this. It looks cool as hell. Especially when you're running. Look at this. Look how cool I look.
Yeah, you do.
I was trying to think about what the French national anthem was for a second there. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
À cause des garçons. À cause des garçons.
I don't think that's the French national anthem.
Laissez tomber les filles, laissez tomber les filles. Ow! No appreciation for the finer things in life!
That's not the French national anthem!
It should be! It's good! Ah!
I also absolutely love this FAMAS, though. Like, seriously, I love this gun.
If you had to choose, FAMAS or P90?
Ooh. That's tough. They're both bullpups. Mm-hmm. See, the thing is, the P90 is very effective against things that are wearing body armor.
Why is that?
It was designed specifically to defeat Russian body armor, and the thing is, if you're wearing body armor and you get hit with a 5.7 by 28mm shell casing that is actually an armor-penetrating round, it will do more damage to you than if you weren't wearing body armor and you got shot with it.
This gun was designed to attack Russians? Was it designed during the Cold War?
It was designed during the Cold War, and the thinking was, if Russia decides to attack NATO, they're going to be sending Spetsnaz and Special Forces troops and paratroopers. So you want to have your rear echelon guys have a gun that is incredibly easy to use, has very little recoil, is easier to use than a pistol, and is capable of defeating body armor. Okay. So that was the point of the P90. By the time NATO finally got off their ass and started doing weapons trials for the P90, the Soviet Union had collapsed, so it didn't really fulfill its intended purpose anymore.
Unfortunately, the war was over, damn it.
The thing that's good about the P90 is 50-round magazine, high rate of fire, very, very low recoil, and armor-piercing bullets.
Okay.
Put all those things together, and it's a recipe for a tiny laser gun that is very small, very compact, incredibly easy to use, and theoretically capable of just ripping through body armor.
So you would choose the P90 for its armor-piercing capabilities?
Well, the other thing is, though, if I just take a 5.56 rifle, I've just got armor-piercing innately.
So you would pick the FAMAS over the P90? Which gun is better at piercing armor, then?
Out of the two of them, probably the FAMAS, because the FAMAS is an actual rifle.
And the P90 is not a rifle?
No, it's technically a submachine gun.
You would definitely pick the FAMAS then, yeah?
I probably would pick the FAMAS also because they're, like, almost impossible to get in the United States. Money, no object, I'm getting both of them. But if money is an object, which it is, and you're just gonna give me one of the two of them, then I'm taking the FAMAS, and then I'll just buy a P90 later.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Desert Eagle, all right. Good God, I'm deaf now.
Okay, well, new gun for you.
New gun for me? I'm probably not gonna use it, to be completely honest.
Really?
Yeah, I really have no desire to use a Desert Eagle.
Why not? Aren't Desert Eagles cool?
Yeah, they're cool, but I wouldn't use one in combat.
They're not reliable?
So the problem with the Desert Eagle, I'm gonna sum it up real fast for you. The Desert Eagle, they made it in a giant fuck-off bullet. It's a 50 caliber projectile.
Jeez, okay. That's all you had to say.
It's a 50 caliber projectile, and the problem is, mechanically, the Desert Eagle's super interesting. It's a freaking gas piston-driven handgun, which is just weird! With a rotating lug bolt, also weird. The barrel doesn't move, so when you mount optics to it, you mount optics to the barrel instead of the slide. But the problem is, because the bullet is so big and the cartridge is so massive, even for somebody like me, I have a hard time controlling the recoil of this thing, and I end up accidentally limp wristing it, and then it doesn't cycle properly.
The bullet casing is so big that it recoils sideways to eject the bullet.
I don't really know what you said, but yes. This one's in 44 Magnum. What the hell? When I was a kid, I used to go to the library and check out these, like, gun magazines from the 1980s and 90s.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I'm weird. I'd love doing that. But I remember seeing an advertisement for the Desert Eagle that was, I forget who the competition shooter was, but he fired 7 rounds from a Desert Eagle in less than 1 second.
Dang.
So, like, they work. I'm not a huge fan of them. I'd rather use a 1911 or some other combat pistol.
Specifically because of less recoil?
Yeah, it's less recoil, it's more practical.
We'll just take this back home and you can put it on the shelf.
Yeah, we'll put it on a wall or something. It'll look cool. I feel like I should mod this pistol and give it to Darlene, maybe.
Oh yeah? It's not a French pistol, though.
No, it's Israeli. Well, actually, it's made in Wisconsin.
Is that where the manufacturer is located?
So the Desert Eagle, it's called the Desert Eagle because it was designed by Magnum Research, but because they were a small company, and oh god, that is a big dude. Because they were a small company and didn't have the manufacturing capacity, they had Israeli military industries out of Israel make them. So it's a Wisconsin-designed handgun made by Israelis in a giant caliber that's used by gangbangers in American movies.
Uh-huh.
It's used in a lot of movies because it has a very commanding screen presence.
Sorry, I'm just more worried about this giant behemoth.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll just go around. What in God's holy name is this piece of hot trash?
Jeez, you don't have to say that about every gun you find.
This is something else. This is something else entirely.
That's a weird barrel, I'll say that.
It's got a modified grip from a 249 machine gun on it.
You mean the lower receiver?
The thing you're supposed to hold on to at the front, that is straight off of a 249 machine gun.
Ooh, okay.
But for some reason, it's got part of the barrel jacket from a Lewis gun. I don't know why there's like a water recirculating tube on it. Because I presume that they looked at a Maxim gun and thought that that would be cool to make it like water cooled, except the Lewis gun is air cooled. It's got anti-aircraft sights on it.
Really?
Yeah, these sights are straight up anti-aircraft sights. You got a carry handle on the side of it.
From a saw.
It's just a carry handle from some light machine gun, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Believe it or not, Zach, people in the post-apocalypse hodgepodge their guns.
This charging handle makes no sense either, because the charging handle, is it like a weird angle? So I don't understand how this charging handle is supposed to manipulate anything. There's not enough room to pull anything back unless it's like attached to a rack and pinion system, or maybe it's got a Maxim bolt on it? Why would it have a Maxim bolt on the inside? There's a disassembly lever from an AK on here. What is... That trigger's got weird tabs coming off it, so it's a giant shoe, and it's got a side magazine that only holds 20 rounds?
Well,
What is this?
If it held more rounds, it'd stick out too far. Then you wouldn't be able to squeeze past doorways.
This thing is such a piece of shit! This is not an assault rifle. This is a monstrosity.
It's an amalgamation, that's all.
What happened to the Chinese assault rifles that existed in the Capital Wasteland?
We're not in the Capital Wasteland.
Where's the service rifles that the NCR have?
We're not in Nevada.
Why would you water cool it when it clearly has the back of an air-cooled Lewis gun?
You asking me? I don't know. Are you screaming into the abyss?
I'm screaming into the abyss about this pointless, god-awful monstrosity that should not be. It's incredibly front-heavy. Every time I try to bring this thing up and shoulder it, I can't even control it. I can't control it. It's too heavy.
Why do you have to hate some things? Why can't you just like things and then not be interested in others?
Because some things are utter trash and shouldn't exist.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Oh, man, I'd feel better using a Martini Henry than I would using that thing.
So if you had to choose between this assault rifle...
Yes, or a single-shot rifle and a caliber that doesn't exist anymore. I would take the one in the single-shot that doesn't exist.
But, Zach, you're only allowed to have one gun from now on. Which do you choose? This assault rifle or the Pancor jackhammer?
Does the Pancor jackhammer actually work, or is it one of the non-functioning prototypes?
Oh, it's one of the functioning prototypes, but every time you have to reload it, you have to disassemble it.
Oh, god damn it.
I guess you'll have to say the assault rifle is not the worst gun you've ever used.
No, the assault rifle isn't. I'd take that one and figure out a way to make it lighter. Ugh. Alright, what the hell is... Okay, this is weird. It's got like...
That's an XM8.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
It's a made-up gun. It's got a bunch of features from real guns. The stock is reminiscent of a Bushmaster ACR stock. So is the bolt and the little knob right behind the ejection port. But for some reason, on the very back, right in front of where the stock is, there's this little triangle which appears to me to be like a welded piece of sheet metal that looks like the top upper receiver cover of an AK. And then it's got like the magazine well of an M4, but a really weird magazine release on it. That looks like an ergo grip. I don't know what the hell is going on with this handguard right here.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then for some reason, on this side of the gun, there's this little ovoid shape right here.
Yeah.
That's directly taken off the side of a FN Scar, but put at an angle in the wrong spot on this. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with this, but it looks like hot garbage, and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Oh, ouch.
I apologize, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, really? Is the thing that you called hot garbage not your cup of tea?
Yeah, I apologize. I apologize for calling it hot garbage. It is not hot garbage. I just don't like it.
I thought it looked cool, but maybe it only looked cool to me because I don't know anything about firearms.
If I knew nothing about firearms, I would think this looked pretty cool.
But as a specific firearms nerd, I don't... Oh no, this is not good.
It doesn't fit my refined taste.
How does the sight seem to you?
That front sight looks like it's gonna get broken off hella easy.
It does look fragile.
It looks like it would be incredibly easy to break that front sight off. The rear sight's decently robust, but that front sight looks sus. Whoa! What the? What?
That's fancy.
The hell is this thing?
That's a pretty bitchin' sniper rifle.
Ooh! It's got Nixie tubes!
Nixie tubes?
Yeah! Nixie tubes are like a precursor to liquid crystal displays.
So, before LCDs, we had Nixie T's.
No, they're just vacuum tubes.
Yeah, Nixie.
Nixie tubes.
T stands for tubes.
Nobody ever said that. Every number on a Nixie tube is its own filament.
Ooh, okay.
So 0 through 9 are all individual filaments in the Nixie tube. And when you want a certain one to light up, you send a current.
Okay.
So it's like a tiny neon light with 10 filaments inside it that you can turn on. They're really cool.
I don't think I've seen one of them before, probably because they fell out of fashion with the invention of LCDs.
They did. They did not last very long. They lasted like maybe a decade, and even then it was only like really high-end electronics used Nixie tubes.
Oh, they were the HD DVDs of their time.
Kind of. They didn't really have any competition. There's Nixie tubes and there's other ones that are called like Decatron lights, which are super cool. Unfortunately, by the time Nixie tubes became fast enough to make, liquid crystal displays came out and Nixie tubes were basically pointless.
I'm sure there was a company that invested into Nixie tubes. After 10 years, they finally had the infrastructure in order, and then they lost everything.
Yeah, Nixie tubes kind of just fell out of favor really quickly because, well, one, they're vacuum tubes, and they get hot.
Uh-huh.
Two, they have a tendency to draw a lot of power, especially when compared with liquid crystal displays.
Oh.
Liquid crystal display needs, like, nothing.
Huh, yeah.
You can just slap a half-watt battery into a liquid crystal display, and it'll just sip at it for, like, 10 years.
Yeah.
But you slap a Nixie tube on something that requires 3 volts, and it's going to drain it in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Nixie tubes can burn out, unlike liquid crystal displays. So, really, the only thing Nixie tubes have going for them is they look retro and super cool. That display just looks awesome.
It does, yeah. Hey, what do the numbers on that screen read? I can read half the digits, the other half is burned out. Well, there's a 2 in the tens place. Does that help?
Yeah, they're super cool. There's actually a couple companies now that are making Nixie tubes.
Of course, they're the vinyl of its time.
Kind of. They're really making Nixie tubes more as like an art form thing. They do them in small quantities. Every single one is completely handmade. Someday I want a Nixie tube clock.
Of course.
Because I love weird retro shit like that.
Yeah.
But at this point, they're cost prohibitive. The only Nixie tubes that exist now are ones that are either boutique shop, it's some dude in Poland that's making Nixie tubes because he thinks they're really interesting.
Yeah.
Or they're
And
old Soviet surplus ones from 1980.
And people like you go out and buy those because you think they're really interesting.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to buy one of that guy's Nixie tubes. I don't know what the hell I would do with it. I'd put it on a shelf and look at it and go, boy, that sure is neat.
You would put it right next to your 5 Geiger counters.
I guess you're right, yeah. Here, Mike, we'll make you an M16.
An M16A2, I can tell by the handguard.
Well, it could be an M16A2 or an A3 or an A4.
An A4 would have a different handguard.
Oh yeah, the A4 would have a different handguard.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Okay, couple things I'm noticing right off the bat. Rear sight is not an L shape and is just molded into this. That front sight's way too narrow. It's missing the little latch that goes on the charging handle.
Oh yeah.
The wheel you use to adjust your elevation or the range you're shooting at is just a square. I'm not trying to diss on someone's model, but the model for this is like PlayStation 2 quality.
I'm not trying to insult your model, but your model sucks!
Because we did find this guy. We want the carbine stock, standard magazine.
You made yourself an XM177, huh?
They basically took an M16, they moved the front sight post way backwards, put tiny little handguards on it, and put a 2-position collapsible stock on there.
So this is obviously a gun modified for close quarters.
It was basically modified to be really small so that it could be broken down into 2 pieces and fit on the ejection seat of an airplane. It was a gun that was going to be carried a lot, rarely if ever shot, and it had to work when they needed it to. Special Forces found these things, so Special Forces started requesting them, and then taking them.
I want your short little baby gun. It looks cool.
Yeah, well, they wanted a gun that was very short and didn't get caught up on brush, and that's what created the XM177. Well, they very quickly realized that the problem with the 177 is because the barrel was so short, it was incredibly loud. If you have an M16 20-inch barrel, you fire rounds out of that, that's not going to be nearly as loud as a gun shooting the exact same cartridge with a 10.5-inch barrel.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things they did was they designed this moderator.
That thing that looks like a suppressor almost?
Yeah, which the ATF considers it a suppressor. I don't think they should, because it only lowers the noise by about 2 decibels.
Tactically suppressed.
The reason they put this on the end of it was not to make it silent. The reason they put that on the end of it was to make it sound more either like a normal M16 or like an AK-47. So that when they were shooting at the enemy would think that they had encountered a bunch of standard infantry and not a bunch of super sneaky Special Forces guys.
Oh.
Because if the enemy thinks that they've encountered standard infantry, they're more likely to pull back, reassess. But if the enemy thinks that they've stumbled across a group of just 6 super sneaky guys, they're going to push the advantage as hard as they can.
Yeah.
So by putting this on there, you trick the enemy into thinking that, oh, it's just another normal enemy.
I want a gun that sounds like a crappy gun, but is cooler.
The 177 is a super interesting gun. It's actually what spawned the M4. The M4 is pretty much just a 177 with a longer barrel on it. And
so this is a precursor to the M4.
Yes, the XM177 is a precursor to the M4. In Vietnam, they basically took an extra pistol grip that they had laying around, they chopped it down and bolted it onto the handguard, so they had a pistol grip on the front of it.
Why?
So that when you're shooting it on full auto, you have extra controllability.
The handguards aren't good enough?
Not really. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have a vertical grip on the front of it, especially if you're doing like spraying like full auto.
When you said they attached a grip to the front, I imagined they taped it horizontally to the side of it.
Oh no, it's like straight up and down on the bottom of it.
They glued the grip to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, they just used like a wood screw and attached it to the bottom of the barrel.
I understand now.
Technically, this grip is anachronistic because the 177 and the 177E1 would have not had the little finger groove on there. It probably would have been like a Bakelite style grip. The forward assist would be on the E1, but then this would have magazine release fencing around it if it was the 177.
As hard as they tried, they couldn't get it perfect.
Well, the problem is there's so many tiny little modifications in between each series of gun. You will never be able to memorize all of the little tiny things, and I still screw stuff up. I'll still be like, oh yeah, no, that one's a 177, and then someone's like, well, actually, the finger grooved on the pistol grip didn't exist until 1969, so you're incorrect. Oh, I could build a Department of Energy cult!
Oh,
There was a very short period of time where the Department of Energy had, this barrel. Oh, look, it's a suppressed 10mm submachine gun. Takes Colt mags. So there was a very short period of time where the Department of Energy, for their nuclear facility guarding, they had these submachine guns.
a variant of the XM8?
No, just a variant of a Colt AR-15.
Oh.
Man, that's cool. That's cool that I can make that.
That's the XM177?
Yes.
Is that a variant of the XM8?
No. The only way they are related is in that they both have the X designation.
Are they made by the same company?
No, the XM is a military prefix. That is not a 177. What is happening with this? Why does it look so weird? What happened to my gun?
What are you talking about?
This is not an XM177.
Then why did you name it 177?
Someone modified it while I wasn't here and turned it into an M16A2.
Hey, what
Okay.
are you doing?
Somebody turned my M16A1 into a dissipator? The fuck?
I have no idea. Maybe you're the one that's mistaken. Maybe you give it the dissipator barrel and you call it the XM177.
Oh, yeah, I'm the one that
Hey, we all make mistakes. It's okay, man.
Just don't understand how much I love this gun.
Uh-huh.
I don't just like it, I love it. I'm in love with it.
Yeah, but you'll definitely cheat on it with a P90.
It's not cheating. We have an open relationship.
Oh, a
We have-
polyamorous firearm relationship?
The only polyamorous relationships that actually work are ones with guns.
Oh, okay.
The MP5! It's finally mine! Yes!
Your favorite gun of all time.
Oh my god, I love this gun! You have no idea!
I've got a pretty good idea.
You have no idea!
I know you like that gun. You said it multiple
Yes!
times.
Oh! Slap me harder, daddy! Standard dedicated slimline. Ooh. No! No! You don't understand, I need the SD.
You want the SD, but you can't get it?
I know how to make a fucking SD handguard. Actually, if I put this stock on it, it's exactly how I have mine configured.
Oh, there you go.
Quick eject waffle. Oh, they got the waffle bags! That's fun!
That's ridiculous.
As far as I'm concerned, this is like the Cadillac of submachine guns. It has a fluted chamber to aid in extraction. However, the downside to that means that it, you kind of can't really use the shell cases again to like reload them.
Fluted is like rifling, but it's a different kind of rifling.
Usually fluting is on the outside of it. The fluting allows it to be extracted easier.
It's like, it damages the casing once it's fired.
Yeah, but it allows the casing to be extracted much easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, I freaking love... This gun is so good and so popular that HK tried twice to replace it. First, they tried it with the very creatively named HK SMG and SMG2.
Could just call it the MP6, but whatever.
They tried to replace the MP5 with those, and the Navy went, yeah, they're real cool and all, but then just give us more MP5s.
All right.
So then later they tried to replace it with the H&K UMP, which was in 45, and everybody that they tried selling it to went, yeah, that's really cool. Sure, it's lightweight, but no, give me the MP5 back.
Everyone just wants the MP5.
Yeah, they just want the MP5 because it's just better.
No need to reinvent the wheel if you've already made the perfect gun.
Don't get me wrong, the UMP definitely has some advantages. It's generally cheaper to make, but because it's H&K, it still costs more money. The UMP's it's cheaper to make that one because it's mostly made of polymer, but then again, the MP5 is just made out of stamped sheet steel. You hear a lot of people that say, oh, you shouldn't slap the charging handle on it, that's not good for the gun. It literally says in the manual you are supposed to slap it.
Just do it.
The manual is like, yep, just slap it, it's fine, you're not gonna hurt it.
Chamber the barrel, then slap your gun. Put a new magazine in. Kick it in the dirt for a while.
Whenever I show people this MP5, they're always like, why don't you put the collapsible stock on there? And it's like, yeah, the collapsible stock is classic, it looks really good, but the problem with the collapsible stock is it's freaking heavy, and I gotta carry this thing around all day. And the other problem, granted this gun doesn't have a whole lot of recoil, but it kind of feels like just getting hit in the face with a chunk of rebar when you shoot it, so it's not a lot of fun. Operation Nimrod.
Why?
Operation Nimrod was the name of the SAS operation to retake the Iranian embassy in London.
Okay.
And it was actually one of the first times that anybody really saw the MP5 being used by a special operations group. Also, one of the first times that anybody really saw a special operations group do anything.
Normally, the fact that they operate in secret is what makes them special.
It helped that it was on television.
Obviously, it makes
But
sense.
it's kind of the event that brought the MP5 into the public zeitgeist, if you will.
Ooh, zeitgeist, nice.
Yeah. Yes! Finally, I can have the MP5 SD that I've always frickin' wanted.
Okay.
I bought a 20-round mag for my MP5. It's a piece of shit.
Is it?
Yeah, it won't actually seat in my MP5, no matter what. Like, I lock the bolt back, the magazine is empty, won't seat in my MP5. I don't understand it at all.
Did you get an MP5 magazine, or did you get maybe an AK magazine?
No, it's an MP5 magazine. It will not go in there. Also, you can't put an AK magazine in an MP5.
Maybe it's an MP5.1.
Also, when I completely load the magazine, the floor plate tries to go boom and launch out the bottom of the magazine.
Gonna get a refund?
It wasn't that expensive. I guess I'm just not going to use it.
You're just gonna eat the cost.
Yeah. There is a specific handguard for the MP5 that has a flashlight integrated into it. I bought one. The reason you're going to judge me is because it costs $600.
For a component for your firearm.
For a handguard that has a flashlight on it. So I spent $600 on a flashlight.
Didn't the gun itself cost about $600?
No, the gun costs like $2,000 something.
And you put a $600 attachment on it.
I tried using it. I went, wow, I can't believe I spent $600 on this thing.
Yeah. Did it give you $600 worth of joy?
No, I put it back in the box and sent it back to the company and was like, yeah, I need to return this.
You had a moment of self-reflection.
Yeah.
Those are quite rare. Congratulations.
Yes, it was incredibly expensive, and I realized the moment I had done that I was like, yeah, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have bought this.
What captivated you initially? Was it good marketing?
No, it's just like one of the coolest looking handguards for the MP5.
But it wasn't $600 worth of cool.
No, it just wasn't. Yes, I finally have an MP5 SD. Yes!
Darling.
SD stands for silencer dummy.
It stands for something in German.
Suppressed drumstick.
I don't remember what SD stands for. I'm sorry, I'm a bad gun nerd. Lovely. Oh, and baby's first musket also needs to be changed to baby's first blunderbuss.
Because you don't have to charge it anymore?
Well, no, you still have to charge it, but now it's a shotgun, not a rifle.
Oh, okay.
So it's a blunderbuss, not a musket.
Is that the difference? Muskets were rifles and blunderbusses were shotguns? I never knew.
Well, no, technically a musket is a musket. A rifle has rifling. That's why it's called a rifling, because it has.
I'm saying that's the analogous firearm. A musket is to a rifle as a blunderbuss is to a shotgun.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wow, we were both a Mac 11. Finding all kinds of guns today.
That didn't seem like a Mac 11. Aren't those supposed to be full auto?
On the actual military ones, they have a semi and a full auto setting.
I guess this is not the military one.
There's several different versions. I think the Mac 11 was in full. What the hell?
Put a scope on the Mac 11.
Why do you make me do these things?
Yeah, there you go.
This is so stupid. What is deliverer? Why a Walther PPK with an extended barrel in 10 millimeter? The Walther PPK isn't in 10 millimeter. It's in what? It's just a straight blowback semi-automatic pistol. Really low magazine capacity.
Looks like it would be.
They made the ejection port much bigger on this one, but the original Walther PPK has a completely fixed barrel, which makes it even simpler.
Makes sense.
Got a decocker and a safety on it. The trigger pull on them is, if I'm being honest, not great. So do you see the little pin that's like just under the rear sight?
Okay.
That one is a loaded chamber indicator, so that actually protrudes from the gun just a little tiny bit to let you know there's a round chambered in it.
Uh-huh.
If I remember correctly, it's the gun that Adolf Hitler shot himself with. It also was James Bond's firearm.
You think he picked that firearm as a tribute to the person who killed Hitler?
No, it was mostly because a lot of the OSS in World War II used Walther PPKs because they were small, easily concealable. They didn't have a ton of recoil to them, and a lot of Germans carried them, so it wasn't too suspicious.
Were there Walther PPKs in 10 millimeter as well?
No, theirs were probably in 32 or 380. And this one is suppressed.
Ow. What was that?
That was probably a ricochet. It probably jumped up into the air and then bounced back down and hit you. Sorry. Sorry about that. There's a lot of pistols that are kind of just copies of the Walther PPK. Like the Makarov pistol is basically just a Soviet copy of the Walther PPK. Mm-hmm. Like the safety's even in the same spot and it uses a fixed barrel.
Okay.
The recoil of 380 does end up being a little bit more forceful on the PPK, but that's just because the barrel is fixed in one spot.
Well, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, Walther PPK, it's single and double action. You can run it in either fire mode. Double action has got a very heavy trigger pull. Single action is not bad, but not good gracious. Oh, it's a very poorly put together AK.
hand assembled, I see. Tack, tack, tack.
Yep, that looks like an AK-47 to me. What? Oh god, those welds. They're so bad, though. The gas block is normally not welded to the barrel like that. It's usually cast out of the same... Well, I don't know. I guess if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Why would you have that spring exposed?
Maybe I'm the one who made this weapon. I wouldn't know what I'm doing.
If you made this weapon, I would actually be very proud of you.
If I could make anything more than a slingshot.
I don't know. It's got a lot of holes in it. Yeah, it looks like an XM8 with a Picatinny rail system on it.
It looks like the standard M16, M4 kind of model that most guns these days follow.
No, it looks like an XM8.
Yeah, it's the similar thing, you know.
No, it isn't similar. It looks like an XM8.
Yeah.
Which is different from an M16, M4.
Not really.
Yes, it is. It's vastly different.
I'm looking at it, and it's like the handguard looks similar.
That's only because it has Picatinny rails on it. It doesn't look anything like an M16, M4.
The magazine and the...
No, it doesn't. The magazine looks hugely different. Look, it's got a tab on it instead of having a button. It looks like a G36 if it's similar to anything else.
Okay, but, I mean, tab versus button, you're getting into the minutia now.
Oh my god, yeah, the minutia of the difference between a push-button magazine release and a ambidextrous tab magazine release.
You say that sarcastically?
I suppose this thing looks like an M4 to you as well.
A1, M16A1.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Because of the triangle barrel thing, you know? Because they had the triangle handguards of the M16A1. Am I thinking of the right gun? It was the M16A1, right? I legitimately can't remember. I thought it was the M16A1. It had the triangle barrel, right?
I'm sorry, I'm staring at this vehicle and ignoring you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just saw the word Ithaca Model 37, and I got interested because it's a pump-action shotgun, baby!
That also does cryo damage.
I'm a big fan of this shotgun. It's a really great pump-action shotgun.
Yeah.
It's interesting in that it only has one action bar.
I agree. I know exactly what
Actually,
you're talking
a
about.
lot of older shotguns all only had one action bar. I don't remember what the first shotgun to have two action bars was. Two just kind of adds, it increases reliability, adds the backup in case one of them gets bent or something.
Well, the more action bars, the better, I always say.
But the Ithaca 37 is actually a completely ambidextrous pump-action shotgun. You feed the shells in through the bottom, and it ejects them through the bottom.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, did they actually make it so the shotgun shells come out the bottom? Yes, they did! That's so cool! I am very happy about that! Yes!
There you go.
That is, oh, I love little details like that.
Accolades from Zach.
That makes me really happy. So the Ithaca 37, one of the original versions was called the Featherlight because it was an incredibly lightweight pump-action shotgun. My favorite version of the Ithaca 37 is the Ithaca 37 Stakeout, which is a pump-action with like a 14-inch barrel. It's super cool. It was one of the first pistol grip-only shotguns.
All right. Here's a guy ranting about shotguns out there.
Why are you telling me? Well, because he's on his way in here. I think you can weasel some money out of him. We can do the standard stock or with an ammo holder. That's kind of neat. Standard sights. There are iron sights, which is interesting. Oh, you can convert it to slam fire.
What does that do?
It's like fully automatic for a pump action, only you have to manually rack it. So every time you go backwards, it ejects the shell. You go forwards, and as soon as the shell is chambered, it fires.
Ooh.
So basically, you just keep going, clack, rack, 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 and it just fires until it's out of ammo.
I didn't. Okay, that's something.
Ooh!
Oh, looks like he's got new stock after all.
Ooh! Oh, baby, where have you been all my life? This is one of my favorite guns. Let's inspect it really quick.
It's a big list.
This is the B&T MP9, which its civilian variant is the TP9.
Ah, yes, the Beckler and Toch MP9.
No, it's Brugger and Tomet. This one, you'll notice that you've got the white dot, the red dot,
yes,
and then the 4 red dots.
Wait, is that a 4-round burst or is that a full auto?
It's full auto.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the 4 dots are just full auto. The civilian version only has 2 settings. The B&T MP9 originally started life as the Steyr TMP, or the Steyr SPP, which is the civilian version. Steyr was originally making these, and then for some reason Steyr decided they didn't want to make them anymore, so they sold the rights to Brugger and Tomet, who is now the exclusive producer of these guns. Brugger and Tomet improved on the gun by changing the safety mechanism from a cross-bolt 3-position safety to a rotating selector lever.
That's a wise decision, I think.
The cross-bolt safety was a little awkward. It was kind of hard to actuate. Now, with the addition of a rotating safety, it is completely ambidextrous. It is a rotating barrel, which is a really cool feature. Another gun that uses a rotating barrel is the Beretta PX4 Storm pistols. Those also use a rotating barrel. You know, on a M16, when the bolt goes forward, it goes into battery and then rotates to lock?
Yeah.
This one, the bolt itself goes forward, and then the barrel rotates instead of the bolt.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's super cool. When you take the entire barrel mechanism out of this thing, it looks like a lightsaber. It's freaking sick.
All right.
It's a polygonally bored barrel, which is really cool. Glocks use polygonal barrels, and so do H&K pistols. They also use polygonal barrels.
Are the bullets we're firing shaped like hexagons?
So normally, the rifling on a gun, if you were to magnify it, it's 90-degree cuts.
It's a bunch of spirals.
Yeah, it's a spiral, but the spiral that's coming out of the barrel is a 90-degree thing. It means that, 1, the barrel is easier to clean. 2, it means that the bullet meshes with the barrel better, so you don't get as many gas leaks, where the gas is escaping in between the bullet and the lands and grooves and going out the front of the barrel. The downside to polygonal rifling is it's generally more expensive and a little... Another kind of interesting thing about the TMP is that it is made primarily of plastic. I mean, the bolt and barrel mechanism, that's all obviously made of steel. But the entire top cover of this gun is just one piece of plastic. There's not even any, like, aluminum inserts or anything.
That makes it very lightweight.
This is one of those guns that fits into a really weird niche of, like, is it a submachine gun or is it a personal defense weapon? What does it qualify as?
It's sometimes difficult to quantify these things.
It is. It can be landmine.
It could be a landmine.
It could be a landmine. Why didn't I defuse that landmine?
You did, with your face.
Apparently so.
Modifying the APC-9 because APCs 1 through 8 were taken. Oh, it's pretty fun. You know, when you've got that foregrip, and then you got the normal grip, and then you got the magazine sticking out, kind of reminds me of a Nintendo 64 controller.
So, I do have a couple problems with this gun, because of course I do.
The pistol, the 44.
This is an older model Smith & Wesson. You can see on the hammer, there is a notch in the center of it. That notch is where the fixed firing pin... Don't do that to a revolver!
You're the one doing it!
That notch is where the fixed firing pin would go, and I can't help but notice that there isn't actually a fixed firing pin on this. Also, the locating area, so there should be an area on the back of this revolver that locates the fixed firing pin so that it strikes the back of the primer in exactly the center. That is completely missing.
It's a custom modified version, I guess.
It's not even a custom modified version.
Kellogg modified it in a bad way.
Ooh, hello! Yup! Why is it making things on fire?
Hey, you found a hardened P90 that ignites things!
It sets things on fire for some reason, I don't know why. P90 looks like shit.
You've been waiting for so long to get a P90!
It looks like crap! What is this?
You've been waiting for... You keep on saying, I hope I find a P90 today. Every time we start, I hope we find a P90.
Yeah! And then I get one and it looks like crap! Oh, real gun!
What makes it look bad? Is it a paint job, maybe?
I hope it's just the paint job, because this looks kind of like ass.
Hey, it's got 5 notches. That must mean somebody got 5 kills.
Why is it welded? Why is the P90... Why is this part welded together like it's made out of sheet metal?
Oh, wait, no, isn't the P90 supposed to be plastic?
Yes, it's plastic. What? Also, it's in 45 auto, which... You know what? You had to put it in a caliber actually in the game. So, I'm gonna let it slide, the caliber it's in.
Isn't there a 9mm in the game, though?
It's not in 9mm though. All right.
Wait,
I need to go. I need to go back to the house. I need to go back to the house.
Okay.
I need to have my materials.
You hate how it's welded, even though it's supposed to be made of
Yeah,
plastic.
it's not supposed to be. What if I do the factory receiver? Then is it not welded? There we go. That is the correct receiver. Apparently, the hardened receiver. I appreciate the idea. Large magazine. What is
How do you extend a magazine on that thing?
You don't. The only way you extend a magazine...
There's no room to put more bullets in between those two parts.
Yeah, exact. Well, there is if you buy a magazine that is restricted to 10 rounds because it has a plastic spacer in it so that you can only put 10 rounds in it. That's the only way you can extend a magazine, is by removing that spacer.
Oh, okay.
The extended is a superior 75-round magazine, which is no. Is no.
Is no.
Is no. Is no. Why does it have H&K MP7 sights?
Because people like H&K MP7 sights.
I guess. The MP7 sights are interesting because they're flip-up rifle sights that have pistol sights built in. So when they're folded down, it's pistol sights. When they fold up, it's rifle sights.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I might just do the reflex sight because that kind of would make the most sense. I think for a personal defense weapon. Spectre standard sights, yeah, we'll just do the reflex sight.
Oh, okay.
You got a suppressor.
A lot of suppress. What the hell?
The Mall Ninja suppressor. I know this. This is from an airsoft P90. Yeah, that's one from like an airsoft P90.
That is silly.
It's funny they call it the Mall Ninja suppressor. Green tip penetrator. Well, no.
Green tip does penetrate, yes?
When people in the United States usually think of green tip ammo, they're thinking of 5.56 by 45 millimeter green tip.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Which is the standard U.S. military one. And it is a steel cord ammo, but it's really more of a barrier penetrating ammo, not an armor penetrating ammo. Black is traditionally armor penetrating ammo.
Okay.
Green is just like standard ammo. The P90 armor piercing ammo would still be a black tip, so that is technically incorrect.
Oh, you can change the ammo. Not 45 anymore. Ah, you can make
Ew.
an institute. Oh, I love it.
Oh, it looks like it's meant to be in CSGO. Ugh. The civilian version of this gun is the FNPS90.
Right, which is what you have.
Which is what I own. It's the semi-auto only version of the P90. Traditionally, it comes with a 16-inch barrel that a lot of people will buy and they'll put the dummy suppressor over it. Or basically like a shroud like this.
Okay.
I got mine registered as a short barrel rifle and then put the shorter barrel on it.
Uh-huh. Looking a little better than how you first found it.
I kind of don't. Oh yeah, because like now, look, when I pull the magazine out of this, you can actually see the bolt in there. You can see the little lug that the magazine seats itself on. This is a much better looking stock.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, it's looking pretty good. The magazine isn't clear, which is one of the things that I really like about the P90 is it's usually like a smoked polymer, so you can, at a glance, because you aim it like this, at a glance you can see exactly how much ammo you have left.
Right.
One of the big cool guy things about the P90 is ammo is stored in the magazine horizontally. When it gets to the back of the magazine, it rotates the ammo 90 degrees and drops down, and then loads around into the chamber. The shell casings come out of that hole right there.
That is what makes it ambidextrous.
Yep. The selector switch, located underneath the trigger, is accessible from either side. There is a charging handle on, again, either side of the gun.
I guess that's what makes it ambidextrous.
This one is the tri-rail P90, which the standard P90 actually has backup iron sights built into the top of the receiver, which I can't show you on this one, but it has backup iron sights on both this side and what would be the other side of the gun. So again, ambidextrous. It was designed to basically be a personal defense weapon. A lot of super sneaky people started using it because it's incredibly compact. This is like one of the smallest submachine guns you can get. It has a very high round count, low recoil. It's really good.
Okay.
I know that they didn't make it in 5.7x28 because that would involve making a whole new ammo for the game. But why does 10mm do less damage than 45 ACP?
Because 45 is a bigger bullet.
I don't even have the time to go into why that is wrong. Alright, well, I have a P90 now, so that's awesome.
Hey, where's that Mall Ninja silencer?
I'm not putting the Mall Ninja suppressor on. That thing is fucking ridiculous.
Alright, fine.
Despite the fact that I absolutely love it and it is one of my favorite guns of all time, I have no more 5.7 ammo for it.
Okay.
Just like in real life.
Ammo's expensive.
Just like in real... Man, ammo is like seriously $1 a bullet for P90.
It's kind of ridiculous.
It's just... It's so disappointing because it's just one of... It looks so cool. It's such a cool gun. I love you, P90. I love you. I love you, P90. One of the other interesting things about the P90 is that the bullets are like, they're 5.7 by 28 is the cartridge. And most magazines are curved because most bullets are not actually a completely straight... Oh my god, there's a death claw there's a death claw! Most bullets, 5.56, even 9mm, when you think it's like they're parallel sides, they're actually tapered. And the reason for that is because it aids in extraction.
That makes sense.
It's a free country.
Anyway, if you have a round that's completely straight, when you go to extract it, you have two surfaces that are completely parallel. That it's trying to drag that shell casing out of that surface.
I see.
When you have it, even if it's a very slight taper, it's basically a cone now. And a cone is much easier to pull out of another cone than a cylinder.
Makes a lot of sense.
The 5.7 by 28 millimeter, the shell casing isn't actually cone shaped. So what they do to make it work is the shell casing is coated in like a polymer to help it extract from the chamber better.
Okay.
Which does mean that now your rounds are more expensive to make because you have to coat them in a polymer.
Seems like it would just make more sense to go for the cheaper, tapered off bullets.
It's really interesting. Just the fact that it's a bottleneck pistol cartridge is super interesting to me. But then I guess you could also argue that 357 Sig and 7.62 Tokarev, those are also bottleneck pistol cartridges.
I guess you could argue that, because they are. What do you think about this Halo gun here?
It's a Halo sniper rifle. The one that was in the original Halo is like slightly based on the Donnell NTW-20, which is a bullpup. Is it the Donnell NTW-20? It might be, I can't remember.
You could keep on speaking confidently and I'd have believed you.
I think it's like a 20mm sniper rifle. It's like a South African gun, and that's what the sniper rifle from Halo is based on.
Alright.
Oh, it's the gun from Halo.
Yeah! Cool, Halo gun! Ooh. Pretty cool.
I'm not a huge Halo fan, so
No?
it just kind of looks like a gun to me. Well, it's supposed to be some kind of bullpup design. I don't really understand why it's got that cowling on the top of it. Also, I feel like the stock is not long enough. I feel like the front is too long and the stock isn't long enough. I don't like how they gently push the charging handle forward when you reload it. Also, where's the sights? How am I supposed to aim?
Just aim down the top of the cowling.
Yeah. I also find it funny that they gave it 60 rounds, just like the one in Halo. But there's no way that magazine could hold 60 rounds. The M6 Oni PWDS. Oh, this is the pistol from Halo.
Cool. Woo!
Good God!
Well then.
This one uses 50?
You were firing 50 caliber
This
bullets.
pistol shoots 50 MG.
Does it now?
My ass, it does.
I think you've already used it once, but maybe not.
I haven't used this one, I don't think.
The 392A1.
Ew, those bipod legs do not belong on there. Ew.
No?
Ew. Why did they put FNFAL bipod legs on the... Alright, whatever.
Bipods are handy, that's why.
I like how it's a Halo gun, but with real-world compensators. We'll do the MB40 muzzle brake.
Okay.
No legendary effect. Bipod removed. We don't want a bipod on it. Oh my god, it's got a PEC 15 for some reason. No flashlight. Here, we'll do the heavy barrel then.
Okay.
Because then the gas tube is actually connected to something. We've got, for some reason, a Trigicon SRS.
As an option, yeah.
Yeah. We've got the Elkin M145. We got the MCS2. We've got the, I think that might be an actual Halo optic. I'm not positive. Ammo type, currently it's 7.62 by 51 NATO, full metal jacket, armor piercing, or full metal jacket, or 5.56 or 5mm. Oh, that apparently, so it's still 7.62. Wait, no, that's, why does it convert it to 8mm Mauser? Why does it convert it to 7.92 by 57 8mm Mauser?
I thought that maybe it'd been a typo because I've never heard of a 792.
7.92 is 8mm Mauser.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. Holy crap, it's a Sig P220. Oh my god.
Do you like them?
That's pretty cool. And it's a 45 caliber semi-automatic pistol with a decocker on it. Is this one a West German? Maybe? But yeah, it's what most of their other handguns are based on, is the 220 series. Single stack, 45 ACP. They did make versions in 9mm. Actually, fun fact, the first screen appearance of the Sig P220 series handgun was in the movie Rambo 2, and it was held by one of the CIA agents, which you can tell in that movie that it's an actual 220 and not a blank firing version by the shape of the top of the barrel.
Well, I can't figure out any of that.
Well, I could. And based on when the movie Rambo 2 was filmed, that means that that was an actual P220 that was issued to the U.S. Army to use in trials to replace the 1911.
But it never did replace that gun.
No, it didn't. The one that actually ended up winning the U.S. Army pistol trials was the Beretta 92 FS. But anyway, we're getting off on a whole different tangent here. I personally love the Sig 226. I actually own one. It is a 226 Mark 25, which is the Naval Special Warfare variant. Another fun fact about this handgun, does not have a safety on it.
Just take the bullets out, stupid.
No, it has internal drop safeties. It has many things to prevent it from firing. There's a firing pin locking block. There's the fact that the hammer will not go all the way forward unless the trigger has been pulled on it. There's a thing to prevent it from going off unless the slide is fully in battery. What this gun does have is it has a decocker, which puts it in double action mode, which has a relatively long and heavy trigger pull.
Decocker.
The logic on it is there's no manually activated thumb safety, so you don't have to disengage anything when you draw the pistol out of the holster. You don't have to disengage anything. Your first trigger pull is just going to be a relatively long, heavy trigger pull. And the only way for the gun to actually go off is if you intentionally pull the trigger on the gun. Mm-hmm. Actually, kind of excited about finding this handgun. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this abomination of a 220. That's fucking cringe, bro. That's fucking... Here's my question. How are you supposed to use a tiny bayonet?
You got the silencer, so you can't even use the bayonet.
Bruh. You just posted cringe, bro.